What you're searching for isn't out there, Hiccup. It's in here. Maybe you just don't see it yet. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a sequel to, wait for it, before I hit you with this mind-blowing fact, you're going to want to sit down and relax. Don't do it if you want to go through it. Relax. Don't do it if you want to go when I hit you with this fact at the beginning of the video. How to Train Your Dragon. It came out in 2010. This one came out in 2014. Despite only the 4-year difference, this is set 5 goddamn years after the events that nearly leveled the village of Berk. Where Hiccup, yes, once again voiced by Jay Barchul, that's a very Canadian name, and boy, you could definitely see and hear the Canadian just coming out of him at one point. That being said, love our brothers and sisters up north. Nevertheless, Hiccup was able to form a bond with a Night Fury dragon named Toothless, and it's become the iconic image and, a line of toys and everything. The one that basically just has this adorable, doe-eyed look about him, but is very, very deadly when he wants to be to protect his favorite. All the returning characters and a couple of new ones in this new tale where things are expanded in the universe outside of Berk. Kinda, but also not really. So this was written and directed by one of the guys that did the first one. I believe he was also involved in Lilo and Stitch, the animated one, and he's been involved in other projects, and we do, once again, have Gerard Butler as Stoic. We have Craig Ferguson as Gobber. We have American Ferrera as Astrid. We have Jonah Hill. We have Kristen Wiig. And we have a new villain, Drago, played by Jamin Hanzu, who is a tremendous actor. I wish he was getting more meaty parts because he's really fucking good. I mean, Amistad, Gladiator, and those two films alone in, the beginning of his career ascent, really should have netted him more positive stuff. That being said, he's a great actor. So, also, we do have a new character, Valka, voiced by Cate Blanchett, or Valka, however you want to say it. Cate Blanchett, you don't even need to look at the cast, you just need to hear that voice. And God, would I love to hear that voice. Read me the fucking phone book. I love Cate Blanchett. Probably more than a person reasonably should. So, yes, there's a new threat. And once again, the village of Berk must be saved. And dragons must be saved. And a dragon, I swear I saw a dragon. So, in the lead up to the new live-action version that may have already come out by the time this video has dropped, because I'm recording this the day before, and it just depends on when you watch it, I decided to watch the first two. Now, I've seen only a little bit of the third one, and quite frankly, I feel like they should have stopped at 2, because I think a lot of people forget there was a third one. So, as for this one, it costs a little bit less than the first one. At a $145 million budget. It did open with nearly $50 million, but it only made $177 million in the US and Canada, which isn't awful, but it's about $40 million below what the first one did. It did end up making a sizable 120-something million more worldwide at $621.5 million. I'm not going to do inflation because it's been 11 fucking years. It might be a couple more million. And yeah, that's basically it. Now, in Berk, there's dragon races, and the usual chemistry between people, and I know the groundwork was laid in the first one, and you had to build the camaraderie with the characters, but the thing is, some of it didn't feel necessarily earned, but there was a life and energy and enthusiasm in that one. Well, to me, this animation is cleaner, glossier, and feels improved, even though there's only been a few years difference. The story also feels hollow. In the attempts to do emotional depth, something doesn't quite work. The chemistry between Hiccup and Astrid it works to an extent as far as a romance in a kid's animated movie. There are other dragon riders. There's a character named Eric that blames Hiccup and Astrid inadvertently when they show up at their door. But they collect dragons from the man named Drago, who wants to lead an all-out assault against, a particular dragon hamlet, and then also Berk and destroy the world, because he lost his arm. More on that here in a bit. Stoic knows all about Drago. He was very, very vicious. He has a cloak that shields him from dragon flames, because it's made out of dragon scales and skin. And they go off to search for Drago in a really stupid way. Drago basically, knows all about Stoic, and now that he has a chance to get his son, he has a chance for revenge. And Stoic even said at one point, men who kill without reason can't be reasoned with. He's not wrong entirely. And Toothless nearly drowns in the goddamn water when a weird, mask-clad warrior gets Hiccup. But Toothless somehow is okay. And, and Toothless, or not Toothless, but Hiccup also has a gas, that can catch flames, and also, not like he's letting out gas, as hilarious as that would be, and also a flame sword, because why not? Valka's mother, they have a bonding moment. She has raised dragons ever since being taken by a dragon in an effort to protect her, basically. And she causes, spikes to come out of Toothless, kind of a way for him to be a little bit more aerodynamic. Every dragon has secrets, and I'll teach them to you. And also, there's a big old ice alpha-like dragon. It's just laying there, like a freaking giant, like the giant rock creature from fucking Never-Ending Story, or like the horse stuck in the mud. Jeez, God, that was depressing. What the fuck, Wolfgang Peterson? Nevertheless, Drago basically is a generic villain. I mean, and I'm not even knocking Jaimin Hansu here. I hope I got even in the ballpark pronouncing it correctly. But it's just a typical revenge thing, and none of the story has any meat to it. That's the unfortunate part of it. This has a lack of stakes. Stoic does show up to rescue him, sees it's his wife. He forgives her. You're just as beautiful as the day I lost you. All that, and everything's good. Till Drago shows up with all his dragons and the Alpha. By the way, he who controls the Alpha can control the other dragons. They forget that pretty quickly, but whatever, it's fine. So, basically, we get a brief fight between the water Leviathan-sized dragon that Drago has and the ice-spitting dragon that covers the land that Valka has her dragons in. And that one gets killed fairly easily. Maybe if it wasn't so lazy and wasn't laying around a whole bunch. Meanwhile, Eret is realizing the error of his ways, and decides to join up with the heroes to cause a bunch of destruction with Drago's army. Now, they blow up some of his weapons and all that. Everything's going good until basically the Alpha gets, locks eyes, essentially, under the control of Drago, locks eyes with the other dragons. And because it destroyed the other ice dragon, now it's the Alpha. And now everybody will listen, even Toothless. Toothless ends up being under mind control, inadvertently tries to kill Hiccup. Stoic blocks it and sacrifices himself. That should have hit a lot harder than it did, but it didn't. It really didn't hit hard at all. So they give him a Viking ship funeral where they burn the thing and everything. What if he was still alive? I mean, I know he wasn't, but what if he was still alive? How hilarious would that? It'd be hilarious to me because I'm not involved in it. And then suddenly Drago, boom, is going to take over Berk. He's going to do all this. And there were some baby dragons back at the nest that Valka had, where they don't really listen, but they're able to do this, and they're able to gradually get the dragons back with him because he gets Toothless under his control after Toothless had it broken by that Leviathan Alpha, and covers his eyes and said, just trust me, fly ahead. They do this. He manages to kind of knock Drago off of it, and then does something where it's kind of like mirroring what they did in the first movie. Flying, but thankfully not running into the tail of any any big dragon. Thankfully not that. And then in an effort to become the protector, basically Toothless just ends up just pelting him with stuff. It's like a boss level where you just have, it's like the Quick Man. No, it's like when you use the Quick Man boomerang to fight that dragon in Mega Man 2. That's actually exactly what it reminded me of, except you don't fall into a pit of despair and have to start the thing over. It's fine. I'm still not bitter about that game. Great game, but good God. So, then the other dragons realize that the control of the, of the Alpha is being broken. So they all suddenly rushed to Toothless, and they decided to start pelting this thing like crazy. I mean, just bombarding this thing with like fire and all that. And they end up basically turning it away, but not before the horn breaks. The horn on this side, just like Drago's missing arm. So now they have something in common. And that's it. There you go. See, dragons, a dragon's loyalty is unmatched if you treat it right. And Eret will take over, the dad's dragon. Something catcher. I forgot what. I don't really care. And now Hiccup's the chief, because that was another side story. They wanted Hiccup to be chief. But things are more pressing, like the mother still being alive and an overlord, or a guy wanting to create an unholy alliance with dragons and an alpha. Except he wasn't smart enough to understand that bad writing would not necessarily help this. Yeah, how to train your dragon, which really you should have taken the 2, the word 2, and just replace it with the number 2. Number 2. Really should have done that. It's an okay movie with a few decent moments, but really kind of just a sequel that, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it, but I remember watching this first and thinking it was better. And this one just didn't hit as well. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the live action version? I will have a review of that. I will have a review of Materialist up as well. Maybe by the time you guys end up watching this en masse. Who agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Retlin. Until we meet again, happy trails to you.